Hey everyone, it's Kayla, and today we are uploading our second vlog for Camp NaNoWriMo, us being my little ginger doodles, Lainey and Kennia, and myself, and I'll leave all the links below to their channels. Today's vlog topic is actually relationships and writing relationships and about relationships. I don't have a lot to say on this topic, and I'm going to make this really kind of quick because my throat kind of hurts a lot. If you can't tell, I sound like a man. But I have a few points written down that I want to talk about, and first, I just want to talk about my progress a little bit. I was really sick the first couple days of Camp NaNoWriMo, and I wasn't able to write a whole lot. I did get 500 some words written at work the other day, and also 500 words written before midnight, I believe, on the second day, which I'm really proud of. So currently my word count is around 1079, I think, which is very far behind. I'm about a few days behind based on my 30,000 word goal. I'm still totally confident that I'll be able to hit the 30,000 mark by the end of April, and today, when this video goes up, we're actually doing a 10K Sunday, so if I get that underneath my belt, I will be good to go. Let's hope that this cold and congestion and uckiness goes away soon so that I can just focus on my novel. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that have watched the last two NaNoWriMo videos that I posted, you guys know that I'm working on a story that I've been working on for a couple years now. It's a post-apocalyptic fantasy set years after Titan, this massive weather system, ravaged the globe. I actually had a mini breakthrough the other day. I decided to kind of incorporate the original ideas I had for this story. It had to do with fairy tales and mythology, and I thought that it was kind of a cop-out, and I felt that the ideas that I had were too similar to Once Upon a Time. But after talking about the ideas with Lainey and Kennia, they said to just go for it, that it sounds amazing. And I feel as though that now that I'm incorporating these ideas that I originally had when I created this story, that it has opened my plot wide open, and I'll be able to write more continuously instead of taking breaks and not knowing where to go. Onto the relationships, onto the relationship topic. The number one thing I struggle with when it comes to writing relationships and character interactions is remembering the age of my characters. And not that I don't remember what age they are, I don't remember when it comes to writing their dialogue or writing their interactions. For instance, I have this brother and sister type of relationship between a prince and a servant girl. The servant girl is about 13, the prince is about 7, and sometimes I'm finding myself writing their conversations and I'm like, Kayla, what the hell are you doing? There should be no tension on this page. Not that kind of tension. Along those types of lines, Lainey and I talk about this a lot. It is so hard for two people not to have chemistry. When you're typing along and all of a sudden you discover that two characters have chemistry that aren't supposed to have chemistry, I'm like, stop. We find that writing relationships is sometimes difficult because people have chemistry with everyone in the story, and I personally sometimes don't know how to undo the chemistry or make it so that they don't click as well. And sometimes I'm writing and I'm like, does this sound flirtatious? Does this sound playful? Does this sound like they're picking on one another? Does this sound like they hate each other but they'll have sex later? No. And along those lines, there's also the temptation of a love triangle. I have always hated love triangles for the most part in books. I think sometimes they get cliche and overdone, especially in YA, let's be honest. But now that I'm writing, and now that I'm discovering the easiness of chemistry between everyone, I understand where authors are coming from when they incorporate these love triangles, because the temptation is there. The temptation is there to write one into the story. For instance, I was going to have my main female protagonist be kidnapped by my bad boy, if you will, at the end of book 1, and then she spends the majority of book 2 with this guy, and y'all know that's a YA cliche. Let's be real here, that the main love interest or whatever from book 1 is absent in book 2. No, can't go that way. I just don't want my story to be focused on the relationship aspect of my characters. I want my story to be focused on character development and world building and epic action and plot. I don't want the love to be the focus. I want to tell a good story and maybe have love as a subplot, because I feel like if I'm writing a post-apocalyptic fantasy, that shouldn't be the focus. The love should not be the focus. It should be a side part, if you will, so to speak. When I'm writing about friendships and relationships in my story, I want those relationships to be realistic. They're not going to agree all the time. They're not going to get along all the time. They're not going to do everything together at every waking moment. I want things to be realistic, and I don't want a cliche, cookie cutter kind of relationship or friendship. And I feel like I need to take time to make sure that my relationships and platonic relationships are presented in that way, because I personally don't want any cliches in my story. They're very frustrating to read, and I don't want my readers to go through those things. Once I get into my first draft more, I'll have more to say about relationships and friendships, and I'll probably make another vlog stating what I've learned and things like that, and maybe even giving some advice. But I don't feel like I should be giving advice to people if I myself haven't really come across any issues yet. The things that I just talked about are the things that I'm discovering as I go. One of the things that I dislike when I'm reading is a pre-page relationship. Basically a Gale, if you will, a love interest that was there before page 1 of the first book of a series. And I just have trouble connecting to their relationship, and I'm finding that I'm not writing any pre-page relationships as far as love is concerned, unless they're like adults or like older people and they've established their relationship, something like that. But for our main characters is what I'm talking about. I just have trouble connecting to that when I'm reading. Like, I never liked Gale. I never really liked Mal from the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Pre-page love interests are just for me, and sometimes they work. But I'm finding that in my personal manuscript, in my personal first draft, that I don't have any pre-page love interest, and I don't know whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. Now, granted, this is just for my main characters, but what do you guys think? Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Do you guys like pre-page love interest? Like, do you guys find yourselves easy to connect with them? Let me know below in the comments. I don't really have much more to say on relationships. I'm not really sure what Lainey and Kennia are going to talk about. However, Lainey just texted us and she finished her first draft, and that is just so exciting. And she's been working on this story since November, and I'm so proud of her, and I'm just so happy for her. So she'll probably have a lot more good stuff to say, and I'll leave her video below, as well as Kenya's, who's a total newbie who hasn't really been working on a story up until this point, up until NaNoWriMo has just started, and she's really excited about her ideas as well. So I'll leave those videos below. Go check them out and go subscribe if you haven't, because they are both so awesome. And I will see you all soon with another video, and hopefully my voice will sound a hell of a lot better. Bye!